Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to be here today. I just wanted to talk to you about living on a Pluto line. This is one of those things that I Googled and there's a couple videos out there, but nowhere close to what I wanted. So I'm just putting another video out. If you guys know anything about astrocartography or location astrology, which is another way of saying the same thing. I've heard that it's like saying Kleenex instead of facial tissue. You know, it's like the same thing, except one is like more of a brand, which is astrocartography versus locational astrology. So if you know anything about it, you know that depending on where you are located, your chart changes slightly. And so your birth chart is always your chart, like that is your blueprint that you are going through life with. However, different planets or angles in your chart can have a bigger significance or a smaller significance depending on where you are located. So for me, Charleston, South Carolina, which is where I live now currently, is right on my Pluto Ascendant line. So if you know anything about Pluto, you know most people don't really like it. It is, you know, the god of the underworld, and he's the one that like comes through and makes sure that you're learning all your lessons and stuff like that. So he tends to be kind of scary. I actually have Pluto on my ascendant in my birth chart, and I'm a double Scorpio. I have a Scorpio ascendant and a Scorpio sun. So like Pluto is just super prominent for me, and Pluto's in my first house. So yeah. So everything was going all hunky-dory. You know, I just have like a bunch of, you know, upheaval and stuff in my life that was all going on for a long time. And then I decided to move to my Pluto line. I did not realize it was my Pluto line until I came here, and I felt this giant oppressive weight on my chest 100% of the time. And I was on depression medication. So I was trying so hard to figure out what was going on. I had been trying for years to get to Charleston, South Carolina. I love it here. My ex-husband and I had decided to move here. It is beautiful with the beaches and the history and the old architecture and everything. Well, I move here and it sucks. Like, it is too hot and I'm anxious all the time, and I keep getting like bad news. Like, there's just bad news all the time. So I'm looking for everything, trying to figure out what the heck is wrong with me, what the heck is going on. That is the first time I was ever introduced to astrocartography, and I looked it up. Sure enough, I am directly on my Pluto line. Like, just, it's just right there. And so it freaked me out. So of course, the first thing I do is I go and pay for a reading on Etsy. Astrologers that give you bad news, I'm not a fan of. I really like it when astrologers will give you like, yes, this can be a challenge. However, the ultimate goal of the challenge is, and then fix it with a positive. I believe astrology is positive with shadow sides, not good or bad or anything like that. So the first astrocartography reading I had, she said, move, like just move. Shit's gonna get real here and you do not need to be here, so you should definitely move. Clearly, I'm freaked out because I am a single mother. I just moved from 5 states away to be in Charleston, South Carolina. I have a better job than I have ever had here, and I am so excited to be here on paper. However, my physiology is just like freaking out. So I have no physical way to move. I don't know what to do about it. And I have this thing that I always do ever since I turned 30, which was like 2 years ago, so it's not like a whole lot. I have bought myself a reading every year on my birthday. So I have this lovely astrologer that I go to. I'm gonna drop her deets below because she is top-notch dope. And I told her that I was on my Pluto line. It was almost like I was going to confession. I was just like, I'm living on my Pluto line and I don't know what to do about it. And so she looks at my chart. She was just like, you were born with Pluto on your ascendant. Like, you've been dealing with this shit your whole life. This is just intensifying it, and there is so much potential for becoming a better person than you ever thought you could be. And just all that power and transformation, if you can find a way to harness that, your potential is way beyond what you ever thought it could be. So her advice was to make friends with Pluto. She said that maybe I could write a letter, or I could just, sit outside and like focus on Pluto and, just like do a lot of grounding or like maybe a lot of water work because, Pluto is water. So what I did as my little, ceremony to get on board with Pluto is I just started telling myself stories. And I pictured myself as the little girl that lives inside me, laying on her pillow at night, listening to this really elaborate story. And the story is my life. And this kind and nurturing and wonderful person is telling me the story. And every time I hit the part where, the princess like has to get away from the dragon or something, except it's my story, so, it's something different than that, I just have that little like, what's gonna happen next? But I know that I am safe. I am warm in my bed, and this loving, nurturing person is telling me this story. And so all these surprises and trials and different things like that, I'm okay with hearing because I know that there's something better on the other end. So what that does is it started making me view Pluto as this nurturing person that can see that the way you're going is not going to bring you to where you need to end up. So it's kind of like a kid, is running, the kid is me, is like running for the street to get a ball. And he's like, I want that ball. I need that ball. But then Pluto comes, scoops him up, and he's just like, no, you don't. You need to be safe. And all the cars are going past and everything, and the kid is kicking and screaming like, why would you do this to me? And the ball gets smashed. But Pluto knows that if you had gone after that ball, you may have gotten the ball, but you probably would have been killed or at least pretty hurt in the process. So I plan on living here for a good long period of time, just to let you know. So I'm sure I will have more stories about what it's like to live on a Pluto line. But I just want to say I had only been here for 8 months when my apartment burned down. I was one of 7 buildings that burned down. It was a total loss. Now, I just want to talk about the transformation of Pluto because it is no shit crazy. So, apartment burns down. I lose absolutely everything. I then receive so much love, support, gifts, generosity, money from people all over. I had 2 people start GoFundMe's for me. I had lost all my clothes, and I'm one of those people that like shops at Goodwill and stuff like that. So all my clothes, like, they weren't the best, but I liked them and they were mine and I knew them, and it's like you have that relationship with your clothes. And so it was really sad for me to lose all of that. However, all of Charleston gave me hand-me-downs. And when I say all of Charleston, I mean all of Charleston. Like, I ended up having to donate like 7 trash bags of clothes after I had already filled my closet to exploding with other clothes. I got designer clothes. I got designer handbags. I got brand new kitchen stuff. And these were all things that I didn't have to buy. People were buying them for me. The only place that was available to move into was this gorgeous, beautiful apartment that I would never have been able to afford, but suddenly now it's the only place that's available, and I am magically able to afford it at this point in time. I moved to a beautiful neighborhood which actually connects to a trail here in Charleston that is like a famous nature trail. And it's like, yeah, I miss my stuff, and there's a lot of things that are just completely unreplaceable. However, like, what I got instead is just so the power of Pluto. It's just like so complete transformation. It's just like, yeah, all this stuff is literally gonna burn to the ground, but then you're gonna make like a phoenix and like fly out of it. So I just wanna say, if you're living on a Pluto line, if you have Pluto prominent in your chart, I really hope you can move from the space of fear to the place of excitement. Like, what else is for me? Like, I know I can't have this right now, or I know this isn't meant for me, but what else is going to come in and find me? Anyway, I hope that's not too scary. I hope it is a huge encouragement for you, and I hope you guys are doing well. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.